Hey guys, October 24th, 2019. It's Thursday. This is going to be one incredible day. There's so many cool trades out there. This is exciting. So, the fate of the market officially is in the hands of Amazon, which reports earnings after hours. You know, we have been buying Amazon puts ahead of earnings. We're expecting a drop to 1650, 1665 level. Now, once it gets there, this is where it actually gets tricky, as we're starting to observe with some of the cloud stocks, when they hit those lower levels, they are bouncing. Now, it doesn't mean that these bounces are actually going to stay, but none the case, do not invest a ton of money ahead of the earnings. We're expecting Amazon to actually sell off going into the earnings report today by as much as $40 intraday and follow through on a drop later in the day. So that by itself, if it doesn't bounce when it hits the level 1650, 1665, if it doesn't bounce out of that level after hours, then the market is destined to gap down tomorrow, especially all the technology companies. Now, the complacency in the market is absolutely astounding, considering that what we're observing is a very weird reaction. We actually have an earnings season where stocks go higher on bad earnings reports, and they actually go lower on good. For example, Chipotle. Yes, we've calculated the trade correctly against Jim Cramer's thesis of it going to 1,000. Chipotle drops yesterday after the earnings announcement on actually a really good report. That is actually a sign of a market top, guys, when stocks are not able to rally on good earnings and they are reversing, they're selling off. It signifies the fact that maybe this is as good as it actually gets. Now, the tricky part is, why are they then buying stocks that are reporting bad earnings? Now, temporarily, that's been the trend. We're observing it, and instead of trying to figure out why is that they're buying stocks on bad earnings, the better way to look at this situation is how can we capitalize on this. And we're going to look through about 10 charts in this video, guys, trying to analyze some of the trades that could be placed today. Now, market is getting ready to retest potentially 3,020, 3,025 level. We may not get there, so 3,015 could be it. And as soon as we hit 3,015, we could get a sharp reversal, which could actually occur later today or tomorrow, especially if Amazon fails to bounce off the lows. Now, some of the cool trades we're considering today is ROP, LRCX, ALGM, now O'Reilly, Tesla, XLNX, and some other ones I didn't type in here. So let's get rolling. Really quick to understand the black candle phenomena. Somebody actually asked a question. It was actually Camilla asked a question yesterday in the trading group, and I actually deviated from the answer because I wanted him to investigate it on his own to figure it out. And that's a good thing, guys, to revisit some of the videos and some of the charts to actually derive at some of the answers. So the question was, okay, should we keep BIIB position overnight? So great job, Camilla. Great question. Clearly, that is what's on everybody's mind sometimes. Do we keep the position overnight? Do we not? What do we do? You know, clearly there's a fear to hold the position overnight. What if something bounces, right, at the open? But what was pointed out in the prior videos, we actually compared this potential black candle formation, which did form on BIIB, right, to Netflix. And so when we notice this patterns, and I even put a note with a smiley face here when I inserted this chart of Netflix, is basically had a smiley face saying, hey, even the numbers match, BIIB and Netflix numbers match, and they're drawing the same candles at the same levels. This is not a coincidence, or is it? Look at this. So Netflix basically hits a level of 278 after it bounces to just under 310 level. Well, if we take a look at BIMB, I mean, look, it's at 310, just went slightly over, and it's at 287 the first day. The second day, it fails to rally. So the important observation here is in making a decision, should you have kept the BIIB position overnight, was since we're making the analysis comparing Netflix chart to BIIB, basically the idea was not just the fact that the black candle was formed. Yes, they definitely have that in common, but what will actually take place, and where you make the most money with weekly options is by holding a position anywhere from 48 to 72 hours when stock continues in the same direction, lower consecutively for a few days in a row. So with that said, this is exactly what we've got in Netflix, and we're expecting and projecting that for BIIB. Now, BIIB actually did fall second day in a row. It tried to attempt to bounce just like Netflix did on the second day. So we're expecting another day lower in VIB, still targeting that level of about 264, would actually would coincide with a level in Netflix. Another black candle we've pointed out, which was a highly profitable trade if you jumped on it yesterday, guys. And look, for some of you, like I send messages out there, hey, buy 200 contracts. Guys, some of you that work with an account close to $1 million, or some guys have over $1 million, like $10,000 trade is not a big deal. As a matter of fact, I mean, that's about 1% of the account. That's actually pretty conservative. So it sounds like 200 contracts is a lot, but you know, when at 50 cents, that's a $10,000 trade. So those contracts, when Boeing was rocketing higher, you could have bought them cheap. You could have bought them on the cheap, and within a couple hours, they were up 300-400%. So depending on your entry, you could have done incredibly well catching that black candle reversal, right? And this is what we're going to focus on today, trying to analyze what are the next black candles that could be forming. So this is the ultimate question of the day. Which stock will form a black candle next? Because the beauty of this black candle formation actually looks like the price action is actually moving higher while institutions are already pulling the money out of these stocks. So with that said, we've presented 5 potential prospects yesterday. One of them was FFIV. Okay, FFIV is a beautiful thing. It's up this morning pre-market to 154 on a volume of only like a few hundred shares. So this would be our prime candidate for a black reversal candle. There's only one positive thing in the report. It's the fact it's some kind of collaboration deal with Amazon. So could this propel the stock substantially higher? I mean, it's already up about $20 or close to $20. So we think that even though it may not turn negative today, but it will definitely actually move lower, substantially lower today. Maybe first target of about 146 and second target of about 142. So we're interested in buying these 155, 150, 145 puts at the open. And this stock, when it opens, guys, it's going to hesitate and they're not going to see a huge volume. So this actually represents a great opportunity to buy some of these contracts inexpensively. So this is a great candidate for a black candle. Here's the next great candidate for a black candle is LRCX. So yes, the earnings report appears to be good because it's actually bidding on analyst expectations, but the numbers are actually continuing to deteriorate if you compare these numbers to the prior quarter, if you compare these numbers to the same quarter last year. So while things actually appear to be wonderful and beautiful and green, they're really not. So expect this stock to reverse. Last time I checked, it was trading pre-market at only a volume of about 8,000 shares, guys. 8,000 shares, that's pretty weak volume for this thing, and we are expecting it to reverse. So ultimately, we do want to basically hope for a slight higher bounce, maybe to a level of 253, 255. That's where we want to come in and want to start buying this. 255 puts, 250 puts, 245 puts in LRCX, starting at a price in a reversal all the way down to 240, 237.5. We think there is, making this observation of volume, there is a great probability of the stock actually reversing and heading lower. Considering also that Apple is not acting quite healthy pre-market today. Yes, Apple is up on another analyst upgrade. Pretty soon, Apple stock will run out of the damn analysts that are trying to upgrade this poor thing every day. And once that reversal kicks in, looks like there's a bit of a reversal in the Apple stock happening this morning, despite of all this good news from the LRCX and some other stocks. So this basically bounce is not gonna able to hang in there through the rest of the day and tomorrow. So perfect opportunity because the puts are going to be cheap. The next candidate for a black, actually this one is not a candidate for a black candle formation. This one here initially dropped to 86, but it bounced out. So our actual target in the video I posted yesterday was explained it was going to drop to 86. That was our target. But initially we thought it was going to pop and then drop. This one is kind of a tough play. That is not my favorite play of the day. But if you analyze the charts, guys, this chart is incredibly bearish. Analysts still kind of reluctant to upgrade. There's only one or two analysts that have moved the target price a little bit higher in this. Any pop in this, I would say to 96, 97, 98 area would be a great shorting opportunity, because we think if it hesitates at the open to rally substantially, wait about 5-10 minutes on this one before you get into the trade. If it pops a little bit on low volume shorted, it is likely to revisit the level of 90, possibly 88 by the end of the day or tomorrow. Now here's a cool trade on O'Reilly. Again, the initial we've pointed out in the beginning of this video that we're observing this phenomena where stocks drop on good earnings and stocks actually go higher on bad earnings. So this one actually reported a really great result. So if we stay with what we've seen in Chipotle yesterday, it's a good company, a great stock, okay, great earnings report. This thing will drop. I know this sounds ridiculous, but expect some profit taken in this stock. It is unable to clear this level of 425, so I hope it's going to open around 415, 420 to give us a chance to actually come in and buy 410, 420, 405 puts at the open. We are still targeting possibly by tomorrow these crazier lower levels of about 380, 390 in the stock. So if it opens 415, 420, there could be a huge opportunity here of about a $20, $30 move lower. Considering options on this are a lot less than Amazon, this could be a great trade right here, guys. Now, black candle is likely to be formed on Tesla. Now, interestingly, that this surprise earnings profit report on Tesla, okay, is clearly going to create a short squeeze, which it already created. But the volume seems to be dying out. Considering the report, we would have expected much heavier volume pre-market, but it is not significant. Last time I checked, the volume was under 200,000 shares, which for Tesla is not a big deal. The stock is getting exhausted to the level about 3,008. I mean, that's a 20% pop, guys. So could the shares sell off to a level about 280, 285? Sure, but don't expect a crazy move lower in this one today. With that said, the black candle could be formed. It's not going to be a huge black candle. We're not expecting the stock to drop back to 250. This earnings surprise is quite a positive thing for Tesla, because that's been the ongoing concern, right? When is Tesla finally going to make money? So this quarter it showed that it can actually make money. At the same time, the stock is up 20%. We don't want to be buying calls here either. Okay, so basically, considering this bounce to about 300, what we do want to do is target 310, 300, and 295 level puts an expectation of Tesla actually making a pullback intraday at some point to a level of 285. And that's where we can collect the gains and jump out of this one. Next trade, guys, is now. So there's a lot of things been going on. Actually, it set a low of 190 just a day ago, and this morning pre-market, after announcing earnings report, it is catching some analyst upgrades and trading currently at 235 as I'm recording this. I think a pop to 240 would be reasonable. 240, 241 area, that's where we want to buy some puts. 240 puts, 235 puts. An expectation of the stock reversion and revisiting this 220 level. So not a huge trade, but depending on where options are priced, this trade could be quite lucrative as well. Now, here's my favorite trade of the day, ALGN. ALGN overall is just in a huge downward spiral. It's been so over the last couple of years. This level of 250 is going to be very tough to break for this thing. So if it does pop to 243, 245 area, I'm very much interested in buying 245, 240, 235 strike puts on a bounce to that area right here, with the expectation of a complete reversal in this stock here, guys. Okay, ODFL. Now, there's going to be no black candle on this one, but the stock is likely to drop right at the open. This stock typically doesn't trade a whole lot pre-market, so that actually represents a great opportunity to buy some put options right at the open on the cheap side. Watch out for the spreads. They could be huge, so don't put in a rush any market orders, because they're likely not to be executed to your advantage. Put a limit order on this one, guys. Target in. First target 173, second target 168.3. This one could easily drop. It's been continuously going higher for quite some time, and it's due for a correction and profit taken. Now, retest of the top part of the tunnel, we've covered that in the last video, 3008. We've reached that yesterday. Today, 3015 is the level. If we hit 3015, a sharp move lower could be happening right at the next moment. Cloud stocks, we're still very much bearish on the cloud sector. Amazon, again, could bring the market down. You know what the strategy is there with Amazon. We're buying some puts. We're cashing out by the end of the day. We're keeping some overnight. And we're getting ready to play tomorrow big time. Okay, yesterday, October 23rd, on Wednesday, was a move 7, guys. Move 7 really was shaping as a move 11 when we dipped. We popped. We set a top right here. And this was like a perfect intraday head and shoulder. And we were ready to rock it lower. And all of a sudden, they came in, they bought this dip, and turned it into a move 7. So our all move higher. Reversal as we would typically see in a move 11, but the bulls came in and moved the market higher. 2-day sequence is 6, 7. So 6 and 7s are fighting here. It's typical to see in a topping formation. Overall, the sequence is highly bearish. You can see that this 3015 is going to be a very critical level for the markets today. This would represent a triple top. So when we hit 3015, we want to buy puts. This is because it coincides with this level where we've been trading in the last 72 hours. It also coincides with a level where we've been trading roughly for the last in the last couple of months multiple times, and we failed to break above 3025 levels. So basically we have another 10-15 points of upside. We got about 300 points of downside. I will take the letter probability. Now 5-day sequence is 112767, still a very much bearish sequence. Next market move for today, we are expecting a move 11 pop and drop type scenario, a move 6 where the market is still holding on through the rest of the day and sells off at the later part of the day. Now, considering the entire market, besides expecting the earnings from Amazon, the market is going to be expecting the Federal Reserve meeting next week, which we think is the ultimate catalyst to bring this market to its knees and create this huge drop on Wednesday, Thursday next week. Now, because the market is waiting for that Federal Reserve meeting, there is a probability of a move 5 today and tomorrow. Therefore, it does make sense, okay, to focus on the earnings plays. VIX held the level of 14 yesterday, but pre-market it is under 14, slightly under. As VIX retested in the lower part of the trading tunnel, we want to buy VIX calls here. And we want to buy puts near the money in the stocks that we've mentioned earlier. Now, here's where VIX is pre-market 13.8. It's holding this 13.8 level rather well. At this point, we really needed to break above this 15 level in order to go heavy on puts. We did break this 14.8, 14.9, and then that momentum has actually stalled out when the market opened. So the key takeaways for the day, guys, is short any intraday bounce to the all the way up to 3015. You want to start buying directional SPY puts, Q puts when we hit that level, because there is a great probability of a reversal lower from there. Other than that, focus on trading earnings that we've discussed. Target your entries, execute, let's roll, make it an awesome day. I'll catch you soon on the next trade tomorrow.